Mashriq Basta, the East is still awake. Soft ambient music, dawn footage of Jerusalem, Doha, Tehran, and busy Middle East streets. Narrator. The first light of morning spills across ancient stone and modern steel. From the markets of Jerusalem to the high-rises of Doha, from the deserts of Arabia to the snowy peaks of Iran, the East, Mashriq Basta, remains awake. It is a land where scripture and strategy collide, where every sunrise brings both hope and tension. For thousands of years, this region has carried a weight few others can imagine. Prophets once walked these valleys. Empires rose and fell here. Today the names are new: Israel, Palestine, Qatar, Iran, but the story feels familiar. Promises made and broken, alliances forged and tested, people's longing for dignity. 1. Old wounds, new headlines. Every news cycle brings fresh reports: rockets fired, talks stalled, leaders trading accusations. Yet these disputes are not only about borders or politics. They are about memory, centuries of faith and grievance. Palestinians still struggle for a homeland and basic rights. Israel faces its own internal divisions while balancing pressure from powerful allies. Qatar positions itself as a mediator, hosting negotiations even while navigating regional rivalries. Iran continues a high-stakes dance over nuclear ambitions, sanctions, and influence from Syria to Yemen. Behind the headlines are families, children walking to school, merchants opening shops, mothers hoping today will be quiet. Their lives are shaped by decisions made in palaces and parliaments far beyond their control. 2. Unity and division. History teaches a painful lesson. When the people of the East are divided, outside powers exploit the gap. Colonial borders once carved by European rulers still fuel disputes. Today, competing interests, oil wealth, security alliances, sectarian politics keep neighbors suspicious of one another. While leaders debate, ordinary citizens bear the cost. Economic hardship displace. Qatar, a small state with a wide reach. Tiny in size, but large in ambition, Qatar has become a surprising mediator. Its capital, Doha, hosts peace talks that shape conflicts far beyond its borders. From negotiations between Israel and Palestinian factions to discussions with Afghanistan's Taliban, Qatar offers neutral ground when others cannot. How does a country with fewer than 3 million residents manage this? Its wealth from natural gas gives financial leverage, while its policy of open dialogue creates space for rivals to speak. Yet mediation brings risk. Allies question Qatar's motives. Neighbors suspect hidden agendas. The balancing act demands constant care. Still, Qatar's story proves that diplomacy is not about size. It is about credibility and the willingness to listen, even to enemies. 2. Iran. Power, sanctions, and identity. To the east lies Iran, a nation of ancient civilization and modern controversy. Its nuclear program, regional alliances, and defiance of Western pressure keep it at the center of world attention. Sanctions strain its economy. Young Iranians demand social change, even as leaders emphasize resistance. Iran's role in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen makes it both a key player and a lightning rod. For some neighbors, it is a protector. For others, a threat. Inside Iran, debates rage. How much should the country engage with the West? How can it preserve cultural pride while meeting the needs of a restless generation? These internal questions mirror those faced by many nations. How to balance tradition with progress, sovereignty with cooperation. 3. Israel and Palestine, an unfinished story. While mediators shuttle between capitals, the Palestinian struggle continues. Periodic ceasefires offer brief calm, but core issues, land, rights, security, remain unresolved. Families rebuild after every round of violence, only to face new uncertainty. Israeli society itself is divided. Some citizens push for compromise, others for harm. Echoes of Revelation, lessons from the Quran. Opening visuals, slow pan across the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, pages of an old Quran, and children studying in a madrasa. Soft oud music in the background. Narrator. The Middle East is not only a political crossroads, it is the birthplace of sacred words that still shape lives today. Among those texts, the Quran holds a unique voice. A revelation recited more than 14 centuries ago, yet alive in the daily prayers of millions. In this episode, we explore what the Quran says about history, justice, and the children of Israel, Bani Israel, and how these messages speak to our present. 1. The Quran as a living message. Muslims believe the Quran is the direct word of God revealed to Prophet Muhammad. It speaks in layers, addressing believers, warning oppressors, and reminding all humanity of shared accountability. The Quran does not present history as mere story. It offers moral lessons, signs for those who reflect. Nations rise and fall not only by military might, but by the strength or weakness of their ethics. 2. Bani Israel, a people of revelation. One of the most frequently mentioned communities in the Quran is Bani Israel, the children of Israel, the descendants of Prophet Jacob, Yaqub. Far from a single judgment, the Quran describes them with complexity. Honored for receiving revelation, yet warned when they broke their covenant. Key verses include Surah Al-Baqarah 247. O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon you, and that I preferred you over the worlds. Here, the Quran acknowledges their special status as recipients of guidance. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:12-13. We took a covenant from the children of Israel, but because they broke their covenant, we cursed them and hardened their hearts. A reminder that privilege brings responsibility. Surah Al-Isra 17:2-8. This chapter is even named Bani Israel or Al-Isra. It recounts blessings, corruption, the call to unity, a Quranic blueprint for peace. Opening visuals: sunrise over Mecca, crowded markets in Cairo, night skyline of Doha, pilgrims circling the Kaaba. Soft, uplifting music. Narrator: the Middle East, Mashriq Basta, the East is still awake, stands at a crossroads. Wars and diplomacy dominate the headlines, but beneath the noise lies a question older than empires. Can this diverse region rediscover the unity that once made it a center of knowledge, culture, and faith? In this episode, we explore the Quran's vision for unity, lessons from history, and the small but powerful steps communities are taking today. 1. A universal command. The Quran speaks directly to the need for collective strength. Surah Al-Imran 3:103. And hold firmly to the rope of Allah all together and do not become divided. This verse addresses all believers, urging them to cling to the guidance of God and avoid the fractures that weaken societies. Unity here is not only religious, it is moral and social. It calls for fairness, compassion, and a shared commitment to justice. 2. Lessons from the Golden Ages. History remembers times when this command was honored. During the Abbasid era, scholars from different sects and faiths worked side by side in Baghdad's House of Wisdom. Christians translated Greek philosophy into Arabic. Jewish mathematicians collaborated with Muslim astronomers. Their cooperation produced breakthroughs in medicine, mathematics, and astronomy that shaped the modern world. These examples remind us that unity is not merely idealistic. It is practical. It fuels creativity and prosperity. 3. The price of division. The Quran also warns of the cost of internal conflict. Surah Al-Anfal 8:46. Do not dispute, and thus lose courage and your strength would depart. Across the Middle East, this warning plays out in painful detail. Political rivalries deepen sectarian divides. Economic inequality creates resentment between rich Gulf states. The price of luxury, when comfort becomes a test. Opening visuals: glittering city skylines of the Gulf, luxury cars, overflowing shopping malls, then a sudden cut to refugee camps and war-torn streets in Gaza and Syria. Narrator, voiceover. The Muslim world stretches from the Atlantic coast of Morocco to the islands of Indonesia. It is home to breathtaking mosques, thriving cities, and enormous natural wealth. Yet, while some enjoy palaces of marble and oceans of light, others live in tents, fleeing war and hunger. This contrast is not only economic, it is spiritual. The Quran warns that wealth can become a test. 1. A warning written in Revelation. The Quran reminds believers again and again. Surah Al-Hadid 57:20. Know that the life of this world is but amusement and diversion and adornment and boasting to one another and competition in wealth and children. But the hereafter is better and more enduring. Surah Al-Isra 17:27. Indeed, the wasteful are brothers of the devils, and ever has Satan been to his Lord ungrateful. These verses are not addressed to a single tribe or nation. They speak to every Muslim heart, warning that wealth is a tool, not a throne. Luxury is not forbidden, but forgetting the poor, the oppressed, and the duty of justice is. 2. The mirage of success. Across the Muslim world, shopping festivals, celebrity weddings, and social media influencers display a lifestyle of endless consumption. Expensive cars roar through streets where beggars stretch empty hands. Billboards celebrate gold watches while children in war zones search for bread. The Prophet Muhammad once said, "What I fear most for my nation is the temptation of worldly pleasures and wealth." He lived with simplicity, sleeping on a mat and sharing food with the needy, even when victory brought treasure to Medina. 3. While others bleed. As palaces rise, news screens flash images of Muslims suffering. Palestine, Syria, Yemen, Sudan, Kashmir, Xinjiang. The Quran tells us, "Indeed, Allah is with those who are patient." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153. Patience is not weakness. It is power. It is the ability to trust Allah when the heart is tired. It is staying kind when others are cruel, holding faith when the storm is fierce. History remembers those who were patient. Prophet Ayub who lost everything but never lost faith. Mothers who raised children with love despite hardship. Believers who forgive when revenge would be easier. Closing and call to action 140-230. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who might need a little strength today. Glowing star like, comment, and subscribe for more reminders that uplift your soul. Your small click might be the reason someone finds hope. The road ahead, awakening the sleeping Ummah. Opening visuals, aerial views of Mecca at night during prayer, bustling markets of Istanbul, children studying under dim lamps in refugee camps, scientists in modern laboratories. Slow, hopeful music. Narrator, voiceover. From Morocco to Malaysia, from the deserts of Arabia to the mountains of Central Asia, the Muslim world carries a rich history and a heavy responsibility. We have explored conflict, unity, the warnings of the Quran, and the dangers of luxury. Now we look forward. What path remains for an Ummah divided by politics, distracted by comfort, yet still holding the most powerful guidance ever revealed? The road ahead begins not with governments or armies, but with hearts. 1. The Quranic Compass. The Quran offers a timeless roadmap. Surah Ar-Raid 13:11. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. This verse demands personal transformation before political reform. No treaty or election can succeed if individuals remain enslaved to anger, greed, or pride. Change begins in the unseen corners of the soul. 2. Knowledge is power. For centuries, Muslims led the world in science, mathematics, and philosophy. The Quran's first command was read. Yet many communities now suffer from weak education systems and low literacy rates. Action point. Invest in schools, libraries, digital learning, and research. A single well-educated child is more powerful than 1,000 empty slogans. Modern examples shine across the Muslim world. STEM programs in Malaysia, technology hubs in Dubai, universities in Qatar that host students of every background. Each classroom becomes a seed of revival. 3. Justice as foundation. The Prophet said, "The most beloved of people to Allah are those who are most beneficial to people." Justice is not only in courts, it is in wages paid on time, contracts honored, and leaders held accountable. Corruption rob.